In this problem we have 4 different questions, and for each question we are to fill in 3 answer boxes. So for example, in the first problem we're given the symbolic form of the problem. This is read 4 raised to the third power, or sometimes this is called 4 cubed. And what it means is you have 3 factors of 4. The fact that the exponent is a 3 means that you have 3 factors. And then what you have 3 factors of, you look at the base. My base being 4 means that my 3 factors are of the number 4. So I am going to write 4 times 4 times 4, getting the asterisk for multiplication by holding shift and hitting the number 8 on my keyboard. Then in the factor language, you can use the sample down here to guide your language and your spelling. We have 3 factors of 4, so I'm going to type exactly what you see highlighted here. 3 factors of 4. So click in the answer box and type that and watch your spelling. So I've written 3 factors of 4. And then to evaluate 3 factors of 4, it's probably easiest to look at the expanded form. 4 times 4 is 16, and then 16 times 4 is 64. Looking at the second problem, we are given the problem in expanded form. This time, rather than having 3 factors of 4, we have 3 factors of negative 4. In fact, that's the answer for the factor language. You would type 3 factors of, and then this time it's negative 4. Watch your spelling. To make sure that you have everything written correctly, you may want to scroll to the left and read 3 factors of, and then click and scroll to the right to see the remaining part of your answer, which is negative 4. In symbolic form, make sure that you put the negative 4 in parentheses. If you just write negative 4 raised to the third power, where you get the caret symbol here by holding the shift key down and pressing 6 on your keyboard. If you wrote negative 4 cubed without parentheses, this means you have 3 factors of 4, not 3 factors of negative 4. Without putting parentheses, the negative is not part of the base. This would actually mean the opposite of 3 factors of positive 4, and we don't want that. So make sure you put a left parenthesis and a right parenthesis around the number negative 4 to indicate that the base is negative 4 and that you have 3 factors of negative 4. Then to evaluate the problem, it is probably easiest to look at the expanded form. In the expanded form, we have 2 implied multiplications, and multiplication is done left to right. So we have that 4 times 4 is 16. The signs are the same, so the answer would come out positive, but then you're multiplying 16 by the negative 4. So this came out to be 16, copying the negative 4. I have that 4 times 16 is 64, and then since the signs are different, the final answer comes out to be negative. So evaluating this problem, I get negative 64. So click in the answer box and type negative 64. I forgot to mention that you can get a negative symbol by pressing the key on your keyboard just to the right of the number 0. In the third problem, they give me the factor language. We have the opposite of 3 factors of 4. So breaking this into 2 pieces, let me write down what the expanded form would be. Suppose the problem was just that you had 3 factors of 4. If you had 3 factors of 4, you could say the answer is 4 times 4 times 4, and that would be 3 factors of 4. But what they want in this problem is the opposite of that. The opposite of 3 factors of 4 would be simply put a negative symbol in front. And then in symbolic form, to indicate that the base really is 4 and that you have 3 factors. 3 factors of 4 would be 4 cubed, just like the first problem that we had. You could just write 4 and then shift 6 to get a caret and then 3. This would be 3 factors of 4. And then to get the opposite of that, you simply put a negative symbol in front. That would be the opposite of 3 factors of 4, meaning that the negative is not part of the base. The base is 4. After you get done evaluating your 3 factors of 4, you could take the opposite of that answer. To evaluate the problem, however, you may just do the multiplication left to right as shown here. You can evaluate the expression by just doing the multiplication from left to right. So here you have negative 4 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16. The signs are different, so the answer comes out negative. copying the multiplication by 4 here, we have that 4 times 16 is 64, but the signs were different, so my final answer is negative 64. So click in the answer box under the heading Evaluate, and the answer is negative 64. In my last problem, I'm given the problem in symbolic form. In expanded form, let me pretend this first negative is not here. Suppose it was just the quantity negative 4 being cubed. That would be like this problem up here. So that would be written such that you'd write negative 4 in parentheses. That would be one factor of negative 4, but the fact that the exponents are 3 means that you have 3 factors of negative 4. So I will make 3 factors of negative 4. And because my answer involves having the factors in parentheses, you need not put the asterisk in between them, because without the asterisk, we have implied multiplication. You should get full credit by doing it this way, and I'll show you in a minute when I submit my answer that I get credit. Now what I have here is 3 factors of negative 4, but if you look at the problem, in addition to having the quantity negative 4 being raised to the third power, you have another negative symbol out here saying that you want the opposite of 3 factors of negative 4. So way to the left of my expanded form, I'm going to put another negative symbol. Then in the factor language, this part of the problem would be 3 factors of negative 4, but don't forget we want the opposite of that. So you can use this sentence as a guide. We want the opposite of, so we'll start our sentence just like this, the opposite of. And then we have 3 factors of negative 4, so I will type 3 factors of negative 4. Make sure you check your spelling as you type. Then to evaluate the problem, you have a couple of choices how you'd want to do that. You could evaluate 3 factors of negative 4, take that answer, and then just take the opposite of what you found. Or you can think of the negative symbol out here as if you were multiplying by a negative 1. In fact, taking the opposite of a number is equivalent to multiplying by negative 1. If you did it this way, you would do the multiplication from left to right. You would think of this as multiplication, multiplication here, and multiplication here. So here we have 1 times 4 is 4. The signs are the same, so it would come out positive 4. Then I would copy the rest of the problem down. So we still have this multiplication, and we still have this multiplication to perform. Doing it from left to right, again, 4 times 4 is 16. Signs are different, so the answer comes out negative. And then I would copy this down. And then finally, I would perform the last multiplication. 4 times 16 is 64. And since the signs are the same, the answer comes out positive 64. So we will click in the answer box under the heading Evaluate and simply type 64. When you're convinced your answer is correct, scroll down and press Submit. Notice I got full credit on each problem. Also notice, had I not capitalized the letter T in my sentence and submitted my answer, I would still get full credit, showing you that it's not case sensitive. Also notice that I didn't need to use asterisk in this answer box because of the parentheses. There was implied multiplication in between each set.